You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at Lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
Common sense, comedy, and freedom. You found the defenders of American exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Defenders of American Exceptionalism. It is Wednesday night,
It is,
and I'm not happy.
as you can see.
I'm not happy at all.
As you can tell by his exuberant enunciation.
I was going to say, the normal jovial Dylan is not present currently at the moment. Before we dive into everything, just letting y'all know, we are live on Facebook. You can find us at DOAE Show on Facebook and Twitter at DOAE Show.
Yes, you can also go to YouTube /DOAE Show.
Indeed.
And
do we want
to do
no.
No?
Not yet.
Okay.
That'll be
All
later
right.
on. But yeah, we got a pleasantries aside, we got a lot we're diving into. Like, I'm not. This is. Yeah. I'm so on edge right now that my normal let's chit chat. No, happy. No, I ain't got time for this. But we do have something special tonight. We are joined by one of my best friends, a good friend of the show, Jonathon Dunne from Freedom's Disciple from the Blaze. He is here this evening to talk with us about the Alfie Evans situation. So, John, thank you for joining us, man. We really, really appreciate it, brother.
Lyles, how you doing?
Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to do my level best.
How are you, Stephen?
I'm doing well,
I know
sir.
he don't care about
well.
him. I don't care about him. Yeah. No.
Lyles, how you doing?
Lyles,
You've
really?
been doing stuff good?
Really? Lyles? That's what are we, military now? We're going back to that? You're trying to call. You see, I know what you're doing. Is you're trying to wind me up and calm me down at the same time. This is not.
I think it's working.
It's not.
I think it'll be all right.
So you got some questions for me, Lyles, or what? What's going on?
Wow.
Just straight up.
I'm gonna. All right, done. So, you were one of the reasons why we want to talk to you, because you were at Ground Zero. You were at Alder Hey Hospital. What, yesterday, day before?
Yeah,
Monday. So do me a favor. One, give us. All right, let me start it this way. For anybody who is not aware of the Alfie Evans situation, taking a step back to, it's a similar situation, if y'all remember, to Charlie Gard. Basically, what happened is with both children, they were put into the hospital in the UK with a brain situation, and the socialist medicine system there decided that the kid's life was not worth living anymore, and did everything they possibly could, aside from literally, putting a bullet through their head.
Right. Yeah.
And with Charlie Gard, they ended up, they pulled the life support and they starved him to death. Currently with Alfie Evans, they're trying to do the same thing. However, the one slight difference between Alfie and Charlie is Alfie is, when they pulled him off the ventilators and everything else, he has been breathing on his own and off of life support for, 40-something hours now, John?
50.
So
it's actually 53 hours now.
Yeah, 53, which is
53 hours. That's
a miracle beyond miracles at this
Yes,
point. I mean, and
itself.
I know myself and a lot of us have been praying for him and the family. But yeah, it's the same concept as what was happening back with Charlie Gard, where the British hospitals and the health system have decided that his life is not worth living, even to the point that this young child has now got, and his family too, are granted full Italian citizenship. They are not feeding the kid. They are not giving him water. They are doing everything they can
to make him die.
No, they are actually feeding him now and feeding him water.
Well, thank God for small miracles, and this is why we have you here.
For those corrections there.
But still, the point of the matter
they initially didn't.
Yeah, they weren't, and that's where I've been having a rough day. But anyway, so now that we've kind of caught up on that, so like I said, you were there Monday. What was the feel of everything on the ground? Kind of give us,
what happened?
Inside. Yeah, what was it like being down there?
It was an amazing experience to be among. To be on ground zero, because the media, you only see certain aspects to what the media want to show you, and to actually be around people. So I got there early. I flew in on the first flight in from Dublin, and I arrived very early, and I see Alderhay Hospital. I don't know if you've seen the pictures or your listener have seen the pictures, but it's on a street, but right to the opposite of Alderhay Hospital is like this big park. And I see this big group of people there, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? Not sure, laying the groundwork. And I just go up and join them, and, you know me, Dylan. You know me, Stephen. I'm genuinely, even though I'm very outspoken, I'm a very quiet, reserved person. I'm not get in the middle of the crowd and start talking to people. I just wanted to see what was going on, and I wanted to see the story. I walk up to these group of people, and one of the songs they're singing is Hero by Enrique Gonzalez, or ever how you pronounce that guy's name.
Iglesias.
Yeah, there you go, that dude. They were singing Simply the Best, and they had loads of banners. They also had a big, tall banner, probably about 10 foot tall, of a big picture of Jesus and I Trust in You. And they're just all singing. And there's a lot of football chants over here that are very popular. They've adapted them and made them Alfies. I'm sure if you've watched any of the Facebook Lives, you'll see them. People always ask us who we are, and we always tell them we're part of Alfie's army. So, different things like that, just to be supportive. And I get around these people, and, again, you guys know me. I wear a cross around my neck, and it's not small, and it's not discreet in any way, shape, or form. So a lot of people thought I was a priest or a pastor, and they asked, thanks for coming, and they asked me who I was, and I was like a priest, and I was like, no, I'm just, I do work and do try and spread the word. And they're like, where are all your leaders? The Pope has gotten involved. Where are all the Christians? Where are all the Catholics? Where are all the Protestant pastors? And I'm like, have you not seen any? Nope. So that's the first takeaway I got, because that was literally the first conversation with the first person I had, and I had it with many people during the day. And I'm like, there's many things we can learn about this. We can discuss about parental rights. We can discuss socialized medicine. We can talk about the sanctity of life. But, if you're a Christian and you're listening to this, you have to understand one fundamental thing. We got to get our house in order. If we're not going to stand up for this, what the hell are we going to stand for?
That's it.
So then then what happened was it was a roller coaster of a day. We got good news, and then immediately you'd relax, and then all of a sudden then you'd get bad news. So
let's kind of take that apart. So
sure.
Good news, bad news. Just kind of in that day and range and what happened. Just kind of quick fire a little bit.
Sure. So initially, the first bad news that everyone was really apprehensive was the first deadline we have was 12 o'clock on Monday that they were going to pull the life support machines. And everyone's really apprehensive at 12 o'clock. It's going to happen. They're going to pull the machines. Before 12 o'clock, by this stage now, early in the morning we're in the park. Now we're at this stage, we're in front of the hospital waiting for Thomas to give updates, because they have a little place where to meet. There's some media there. And before 12 o'clock, Thomas comes out and said, actually, no, they've missed the deadline. He's not getting, the life support machine is staying on him. Everyone is then absolutely elated. Everyone's like, thank God, sanity's has come upon this. Now, obviously, you need treatment, but, at least he's surviving.
Right.
By 20 minutes later, we got an update that it's actually 1:30 that the life support machine is going to go off. That causes pain, anger, frustration. The big story that a lot of people got today, I got to see the media up close, which is not my first time, but the media don't care about this story. The media don't care about this kid. They don't care about anything. The way they acted was just purely despicable. To say they're fake news is a compliment to the way these media people acted.
Right.
They got their story that day. I'm sure you heard the story and your listeners saw it. Was they stormed the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So give you the context of what happened there. First of all, the media either didn't know it, didn't care about it, or just flat out ignored the actual real story that happened that time. So you're in a group of people, several hundred people are there. They care for this baby. I was talking to many people. They've been there every day for like weeks and months. They're tired. They're frustrated. They're trying to help this young family. The amount of people who said to me is, no matter what our past or our present is, we're Scousers. We stick together. We're like family. We're like, this is who we are. He's one of our own. We're going to do everything we can. Mm-hmm. So this was a common theme of what people said to me. At 1:30, at 1:29 to be precise, I'm in the middle of this group of people, and everyone just says, he's got 1 minute till they're pulled in the life support machine. There's no sign of Thomas. They're obviously doing it. And this line might sound familiar. It's so familiar in your politics. It might sound familiar. We have to do something. So then someone else responds to that, let's storm the hospital. And a chunk of them run up to the hospital. Now, if you saw my Facebook live, because the media just made all these pictures and said, they were aggressive and they were trying to storm the hospital. I didn't get it in time because I'm a one-man band, and to unlock my iPad and to start a Facebook Live isn't quick. You missed two things. One, a large chunk of the people stayed behind. Two, a large chunk of the people, and I can't use the words because you all get thrown off the air, weren't using clean language, but were saying, what are you doing, you fools? There's sick children in there. You're not helping Alfie. Get back. There was a lot of adjectives. That was a very quick version of it.
Very good job, by the way, cleaning that up.
Yeah.
Very nice cleanup.
Thank you.
Yes.
And also, I didn't do the Scouser accent for you. And the third thing was, if you look at a large chunk of the people who quote-unquote stormed the building, Dylan, this is a reference that you'll appreciate, brother. They weren't exactly storming the beaches of Normandy. If you watched them, it was more of a
trudge
gentle
or a
gentle walk, and it wasn't even briskly. So it's not like they stormed the beaches of Normandy.
It was more of a meander. Is that what it was?
Yeah. It was more like
a stroll.
Just
a heavy laden
to
stroll.
What's going on up there? And by the way, if you don't believe me, go to my Facebook page for 1:30 on Monday. You'll see the video. And it's not me. You'll see clear video. I haven't altered it in any way. So you've seen it. The story on the ground then was tragic, roller coaster of a day. I left at 7:30 that night to catch a flight back home, and we had found out that later on that he had basically that there were negotiations because he became an Italian citizen, which everyone was happy about. I've never seen so many people British people cheer a British person becoming an Italian citizen, but they cheered.
I can imagine.
I mean, I would be kind of happy about that too.
Well, I was. I know I was.
I was very happy when it happened.
Absolutely. It was wonderful. So I leave the hospital at 7:30 on Monday night, and I'm leaving to the news of, because I've got contacts inside close to the family, so I'm getting everything I'm saying and everything I'm doing and reporting. I'm verifying. I'm not just here doing things on hearsay, going, I heard this on the grape. I'm checking stuff out and I'm verifying it through contacts. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what's happening? And as I'm leaving for the airport is Alderhay have said they can't take the life support machine off. He's now an Italian citizen, and politicians are doing the things, and there's discussions between the English and the Italian governments. And I'm like, this is wonderful. I leave in a jubilant mood. Everybody's happy. Everyone's singing. Everyone's like, my God, could this actually happen? Mm-hmm. Return my car, get to the airport. I'm in like the smallest regional airport. It was a culture shock. When I landed in Liverpool, there was my plane and another plane. So it's tiny. I get into Liverpool.
And that was the flight. Those were both flights for the entire day, too, right?
Yeah. The other cool thing was, and just on a side point of view, because it's a serious subject, if you want more of a funny thing, man, we ran into some jerks in TSA. So I literally get into TSA. There's no queues. You just walk up and you get your baggage in. I forget to give them my iPod in my arm jersey because I'm wearing my camo hoodie. And because of that, they made me go through the scanner you have to put your hands up on. They then pat me down. They then take my wallet out of my back pocket. They put it through X-ray.
Through the scan machine?
Wow.
Yes. And I was like, totally unnecessary for getting an iPod. But when I get in there, there's no Wi-Fi. So I can't talk to anyone. I can't get in touch with anyone. So I'm totally out of the loop. I land in Dublin Airport a couple of hours later, and I'm told his life support machine is off. 2 hours now. Alder Hay are not giving him any treatment. They're refusing him oxygen. They're refusing him water. They're refusing him food. And I'm like, I left y'all, and it was all great news, and everyone was celebrating, and there's potentially becoming an Italian citizen, and I land to this news, and it's been horrible ever since. So he, at 9 o'clock on Monday evening, they basically cut off his life support machine. They took everything out, and then they were like, he needs oxygen. At different periods during this time, Tom, the father, has actually had to try and give him CPR because his lips have turned blue. They then appealed this, and he needs water. They said no. They said no. Eventually, then they gave him water in the middle of the night. Then they started appealing, give him food. And what's really frustrating is, while this case hasn't used these exact words, the phrase that came out of the Charlie Gard case and the legal precedent that was helped set by the Charlie Gard case was a phrase called, "They have a right to die with dignity." You're starving a kid of oxygen, water, and food, and you're talking to me about a right to die with freaking dignity?
Yep.
Are you serious?
Hold on. Don't. Yeah, I'm getting ill too. We're gonna have to calm down for a moment. We're gonna have to take a break, everybody. Okay.
Goose frappa.
Yeah, I didn't, because I'm over here bouncing my knee, and I'm like trying not to lose my junk. Don't go
Can I just
anywhere,
share one other
everybody.
thing with you? And this is totally irrelevant.
Go right ahead, real quick.
You have triggered one of your audience members, because I've just got a message, and I don't know if you've seen it, and I quote, "A Yankees jersey, really?"
We'll be right back.
Money, 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 money. You gotta have it. When you need it, what do? If you don't have a rich uncle, call Lending Tree. With us, hundreds of banks compete for your business, so you'll get loans with competitive interest rates, and in some cases, with no closing costs. So here's the deal. If you need money, call us. Do you want to refinance your current loan? Are you 62 or older and interested in a reverse mortgage? Then call Lending Tree now. 800-469-7208. 800-469-7208. We've closed over $250 billion in loans. We know what we're doing and can help you. Call right now for a free quote. 800-469-7208. 800-469-7208. 800-469-7208. That's 800-469-7208. NMLS number 1136.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
800-942-3078. 800-942-3078. Again, that's 800-942-3078.
And welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism. We are live on Facebook, on the Twitters, at Periscope. We are live on YouTube.
Pretty much everywhere.
Pretty much everywhere. You can find us at DOAE Show. We are also joined this evening, our dear friend Jonathon Dunne from Freedom's Disciple and On the Blaze. We are talking Alfie Evans.
Yes.
And
before the break, just want to clarify. You said that we've upset one of our listeners.
Yes, you have. I quote a message: "A Yankees jersey? Are you kidding me?" A Yankees jersey, really? You've also triggered me because, I need my safe space. When you share pictures of me that I look that young, that I actually have hair, that's bringing tears to my eyes.
Well, you know what? I did one good thing. I got the red eye out of the picture.
Oh, you got the red eye? Oh,
yeah,
well,
I took care of the red eye for you. So at least you don't have bright, gleaming red eyes in the picture.
Uh-huh. Maybe I do have gleaming red eyes, right now, because it's...
you probably do at the moment. I mean, what? It's like 2 o'clock in the morning over there, and...
Well, sleep's for wimps.
Yeah, you just sleep when you're dead.
Exactly,
anyway.
Especially when the story... this story is it's nice to laugh, but the story is so serious.
Yeah, this has got me. I'm PO'd, and our dear our good buddy Matt Holloway's also on too, and he made a comment here about how he's got twin boys who are about the same age, and he can't imagine the Evans heartache. Not for nothing, I've got a little man that's a little bit younger than Alfie, but the concept, the idea is still the same.
Oh yeah, and I've got one that's about to be born. I'm like, oh
yeah. The one thing that it was mentioned that I've thought about is, how is it that this is the second time that we know of here in America, okay? But this is the second time.
It's not the second time.
Well, I know, but I'm saying Charlie Garden.
This is the second time it's really hit the news.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. So obviously this has been going on forever. So when my question is, why is it that the UK is not doing something about this? Why are the people in the UK not doing something about this? If they're so outraged, and everything else, why does this keep happening? That's my question. I mean,
so one of the things that we need to learn and understand, and this is for everyone, is how we make people. I know this going to make people make me sound like a liberal, but how we make people feel, and when we're describing our issues, how are we putting them in a good place, or are we putting them down? The one thing that really struck me, England has one of the things that, if you followed me a long time, I hate when America says the middle class, and people always say it's not that big a deal. The impact of really having a class system is. Seeing these people on the ground, because I was talking to them about ranges of issues, and what was ironic was at the same time on Monday when I was on the ground outside Alder Hey, a certain baby was being born with loads of media attention, who will be the 6th or 7th or 8th or 28th, or I don't give a crap what number, in line to be king or queen.
Yeah.
And they've been so downtrodden, these people, that they've accepted that the country is run by elites, and the country is run by politicians who really don't give a crap about them, and they feel so powerless. And when I say what we have to do, and it's something that I'm going to be looking at, is how we make people feel. Is what has happened in this situation is people have felt powerless. I felt powerless on the ground. I was like, we have to do something, and we want this kid to live, and we want what's best for this kid. We want to give support to parents, but what do you do? And people were, where were the churches? Where are the priests? Where are the pastors? Where are the politicians? Where are the leaders? Where are your Martin Luther Kings? Where are your Gandhis? Where are your Nelson Mandelas? There is none. And there's a clear divide in the culture there that, these people feel that it's up to them, and they just can do they have to support each other because no one else has their back. So there was a lesson there to learn. The thing I kept thinking about, and I thought of you, Dylan, an awful lot was, and I would encourage you not to say anything to this because just be careful, but I just kept thinking, if this was you, I know what you would do. In fact, I know what I would be there with you doing it. And we don't need to legal issues.
Nope.
We don't want to say.
Nope.
But
Needs to be
it's you can do your math. And we're two big guys who it's obvious what we would do. Storm the beaches of Normandy.
And again, it might be more of a meandering, but it could still
it'll still get there.
Yeah, I don't storm. I'm too old and I'm too overweight to storm. But you get the general picture. We're trying to make fun of a very sad subject. But it's a situation of they felt powerless and they're not sure what they can do. And it's just a system that they've just been so ingrained to look to government, and government is always the solution. And it's a system that is trotting on people's rights, and people don't care. And they don't know how to change the system. They don't know how to. They don't have any understanding of nature's law and nature's God. It's why America is exceptional. You didn't make things about politics or about left or right. You made things about nature's law and that very fundamental understanding that no other country has that. So it's why you're so exceptional and why you're so critical. They also have been failed by everyone.
It leads to this feeling of atrophy.
Yeah,
and it's just you have no real likes or dislikes, no real interest in what's actually going on. Just this mundane drone walking through life, and kind of like that meandering into the gates there. They have no real desire to keep moving forward and to push for new and vital change because they don't really know what to do and how to start it in the first place.
Yeah, they're like every other country in the history of the world except America in that they know what the problem is. They just don't know what they're for. They know exactly what they're against and what they don't like. They just don't know what they're for.
Right.
Yeah.
America was different. America said, you know what, before I get to my 27 usurpations against the king, I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm for. It's what makes you exceptional and unique. What's really tragic is actually looking at the situation on the ground, the pictures that you don't see. I don't know if you've been following some of the stories from the UK, but there's a story in the UK that a guy got 8 months for flipping the bird to a speed camera.
Yeah, I heard about
the
that.
Camera.
You see a story like that. I've seen people been arrested, dangerous criminals been arrested with less police than is currently outside Alfie's door. In case you don't know how many police are outside this kid's door, there are 4 24/7. To show you how frustrating this is, there's a big Facebook page group, and I'd encourage all your listeners to join if you want updates or you're interested in the story. It's Alfie's Army official page. There's 300 or 400,000 people in it. And Tom, the father, has been doing Facebook Lives. That, on a side note, technology is so wonderful. A lot of the stuff that he has done, like saying, hey, my kid has, had these issues. In 10 years ago, you mightn't have been able to have any evidence. He's been able to do Facebook Lives of showing you, hey, one of the stories was he's blinking and he's responding to me. Well, 10 years ago, you might have said, well, that's just you saying it. Of course, you've got a bias. You want everyone to think he's fine. Well, Facebook Live went, hey, guess what? I'll do a Facebook Live and show you the babe Alfie responding to his father. And it's amazing. But one of the things is the police presence. There's 4 people out there. So because of the Facebook page, he was struggling last night, and they put out requests of, hey, have you got oxygen? Have you got these masks? And people are like, yeah, I'll go down to the hospital, meet me at the door, and I'll give them to you. They cannot give them to their kid because if they do, they'll be arrested for assault. This is the system that you have. And I'm sorry, I'm emotional because I've been talking about this a lot, trying to raise awareness for it because this is such a frustrating story that you have a system that the police are siding with the hospital, and I feel sorry for the police, full disclosure, because they're putting in a very tricky spot. And part of me feels empathy for the doctors and the nurses. I have to hope that not every doctor and nurse field is supporting this decision and they're outraged of it, because if they're not, they don't understand the Hippocratic Oath. But they're put in a tricky situation. But it's a system, and this kid has been murdered. There is no doubt about it. There is another story to come. I can't say what, because I've given my word to the family I will not share it. I can't share details about it. But if Alfie gets to Italy or something else happens and the family give me approval, there is another story to come about this, and I will be sharing. I will do everything in my power to share this story.
But we got to,
because it needs to get out there.
Yeah, we're here to help with that one too. That's the other thing I wanted to throw out there real fast as well. Is slightly off topic, but one of the things that I'm concerned about is so for all intents and purposes, Alfie and his family are now Italian citizens, or at least
no, just Alfie.
Oh, is it just Alfie? Okay, still, so just Alfie. He's an Italian citizen. Theoretically, if he was to die on English soil at the hands of the English, I mean, how does that not cause an international incident?
Well, didn't they have one of the judges said something about this, didn't he?
So the system that is in place is that the fair play to the Italian government. They have taken this on, and Pope Francis has done a good job as well. The highest up of the ambassador for Italy has said, if he dies, we will consider this murder of an Italian citizen. However, you have the logistics to understand of politics, in that it doesn't matter whether you're supported Brexit or we're anti-Brexit, they're still part of the European Union, and for two European countries to go against each other militarily, it just doesn't happen.
Right.
So and I know
it wouldn't
that
be military.
I knew it wouldn't be military, but like
political.
So sanctions or anything like. I mean,
you can't sanction if it would be virtually impossible to sanction a fellow.
Literally,
European
it's just they're going to stand there and just shake their finger vigorously in the UK's direction, and that's going to be it.
Well, to be fair, there's very little they can do, because one of the things the judge has made a ruling. He addressed this yesterday, and that he claimed jurisdiction over Alfie, and there's some precedent for it, because the precedent he's saying is that while Alfie is now officially an Italian citizen, this predates him being an Italian citizen. His health issues have been going on for 18 months, so there is some legal aspect to that. Now, it can be, I'm not saying it stands, or I'm not saying it's right, I'm wrong. I'm just saying there is some legal standing for that case.
Right. Well, I would say I would agree with you on that point, and I would agree with the judge on that point if they were actually trying to take care of the boy.
Yeah. That's the part that gets me.
If they had diagnosed him, if they had actually gone through and figured out what was wrong,
which they still haven't done,
and then
by the way,
we're treating him over the course of these 18 months. Okay, I kind of get you there. There wouldn't be a case for this to even be talked about then, because they would be doing their job and they would be doing what a doctor is supposed to do in the government. If National Socialism wasn't a giant death squad, would supposedly do, which is to take care of this child because he is, the weak, the poor, the meek. That's what that's the whole selling point of socialism and socialized medicine. But if that was the case, yeah, I'm right behind you. Go for it. Yeah. But you guys, not you obviously, but these doctors haven't done a thing for this kid.
They haven't even diagnosed him yet.
They can't diagnose him, and that's the thing. And so there's certain rights that this child has been violated. This story, there's so many principles that you need to discuss. Obviously, people will want to talk about socialized medicine, and that's a very important subject. The size of government is another important subject. The sanctity of life.
That's the big one.
That's
our big one. Like, I think and we'll go into that one much deeper going on next in the next couple shows for sure.
Yeah.
But that's the whole big thing is people do not respect life anymore. Not, at least not the life of a human.
No, not at all.
No. And the right to die with dignity. Effectively, there are people in the UK who are in prisons for horrifically dangerous crimes who have more rights than this kid. Mm-hmm. I've never seen a ruling before there's been major. I'm no legal scholar, so I'm not pretending to be. I'm just a person who, follows the issue, who has had the pleasure and displeasure of reading Supreme Court decisions from your wonderful nation,
and displeasure.
And displeasure in quite a few of them. So I'm not a dummy when it comes to legal aspects. But in all my time of following politics in America and around the world, I've never seen a ruling of someone saying, you cannot go to this country. I've seen rulings where people have said you can't come into our country.
Yeah.
But effectively yesterday and today, the judge ruled, said you can't take this kid to Italy. You cannot bring him to Italy. You cannot bring an Italian citizen to Italy.
Right, you can't take him away.
Yeah. That is setting a dangerous precedent. This kid is a prisoner in a hospital. This kid was admitted into this hospital, Alderhay Hospital, December 2016. He's now there 16 months. While the judge yesterday, this Judge Hayden, who, of all the people who I don't have any sympathy or empathy for, this guy seems to be a really bad guy. Some of his prior rulings has been on the wrong side of things. Some of his writings, some of those opinions are just not really pro-life and pro-children.
Mm-hmm.
But they made this ruling where he made this appeal to Alderhay saying, look, we can't go to Italy, he can't get this stuff, he has a right to die with dignity, stuffs have to be switched off, but I appeal to the hospital to let him out. And the hospital basically said a couple of things. One, they started pulling up time frames, it would take 3 to 5 days. Does it take time to move a kid out of hospital? Yes, if he's on a life support machine, you just don't sort of up and leave him. The fact he's now off life support machine and off all oxygen and just getting supplementary oxygen and water and requirements, you can get him out there a lot quicker if you desired.
Yeah.
However,
they could have had him. They could have had him airbust already. He could have been there.
No, to home, to his house, not to Italy.
Well,
the judge said no to Italy
too.
But one of the quotes, which was quite telling, was from the hospital, was for this to happen, they refused the judge's request to let him go to the hospital. And one of the quotes was, it would take a seismic shift in the attitudes of the parents to let him out for us to release him, because how do we know we don't release him to the house and they're just going to bring him to Italy anyway? So the parents have no rights, the parents have no say. Even in the ruling today at the Court of Appeals, there was a quote of, we know what's best for the child, and it's not in the child's best interest. There was a really tragic, people have been outed in this. There was a real tragic, I'm sure your good buddy, you agree with him on every issue, Piers Morgan.
Oh, shit, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
I'm actually upset he hasn't called me this week.
I know, they're
know.
BFFs, man.
God.
Well, kudos to Piers Morgan. So Piers Morgan hosts a morning show over here in the UK, and he came out and said, actually, I stand with Alfie. He has a right to, I think he should have a right to go home. And he then had the audacity to finish up on a 3-man panel saying miracles happen. The minute he had even finished his sentence, a doctor said, no, they don't.
Wow.
A doctor.
A doctor said no, miracles don't happen.
No, because doctors are gods. Doctors can tell you everything. Doctors know every aspect of everything. And that's what we're making. Effectively in the UK and in Ireland and every place that makes a government big. Forget left and right. This is not a left-right issue. This is government. When you make government your God, it is a god. It acts like a god. It thinks it's God. It has no room. And if you're thinking, listening to me saying right now, well, there you go, John. Just you're preaching the Bible and you want us all to become Christians. No. If you can tell, I'll take your founder's version. Forget my God of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Forget that. If you want to forget even the Allah, Muslim God, if you want to think there's a Jewish God, forget him. Just talk about nature's law and nature's God. That there is some being that's better than or higher than you, that has some moral authority higher than you, that knows more than you do. But the arrogance shown by these doctors saying, no, we know what's best for you. We know what's best for you. When the government tells you to lay down, you're dying, you better lay down and die, because if you don't, you will become a scapegoat and a pariah. And if I can just finish up with one other thing, because I know y'all got a load of other things, or if you want me to stay, I will. I've seen some, and I don't use insulting terms, but I have to call this out for what it is. I have seen some arrogance by Americans to reaction to this story. well, we're America, and while this is such a sad story, and I get it, and I understand why I'm upset with you, John, but John, we're Americans. This could never happen in America.
Right.
Let
Yes,
me
it can.
be very blunt.
Yes, it can.
You have a two-party system with both parties. Yeah, it's easy to focus in on the left, but you have both parties expanding government healthcare. It started under
and right.
a long time ago, but George Bush expanded Medicare. You had Barack Obama expanding Obamacare. You now have GOP, the other party, the good party, holding all three branches of government, and you still have all these policies. You also have an economic crisis of a $21 trillion debt. You're on pace in the next 10 years to hit $38 trillion. If you think that you're America and you're safe, that you think that a Supreme Court justice, you think Anthony Kennedy's going to rule on the side of, yeah, you know what, life is sacred and yeah, the parents have a right. You think Justice Kagan is going to rule on that side? If you think this can't happen in America, it has happened in America. Research Justina Pelletier.
Yep. I was just getting ready to say.
Mm-hmm. This is not a left-right issue. This is an issue that we can all come together on. Because let me tell you, this is the last thing I took from the thing. Because yesterday when I was around, or not yesterday, on Monday when I was around the people in Liverpool, I guarantee you I had very little in common. I guarantee you there wasn't one person there going, you know what, gee, sign me up for some limited government, John. You know, I guarantee you there wasn't someone going, hey, you know what, sign me up for Adam Smith's economics. I guarantee you no one even knew who Adam Smith was. But no one knows in America who he is either, so that's just the world I live in.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were people there. Yeah, I know I'm just I'm totally out there. But I guarantee you there were even people there who would have said, you know what, I'm a socialist and I'm proud of it, right? Zero in common. I'm sure there were people who didn't like Donald Trump there, right? Here's the thing. They stood for life.
That's it.
We can focus on left and right issues and we can look for left and right answers, or we can just understand that America has the answers. This is not my answer. This is not Dylan's answer. This is not Stephen's answer. This is the founder's answer. Yep. Nature's law and nature's God. Eternal principles that are self-evident. And if we can't unite and put our scapegoats aside and our little pounds of flesh seeking and say, you know what, life matters, and if we can't unite around that, we may as well all just give up.
Yep.
That is where we are.
You're right.
And speaking of pounds of flesh,
right.
I wouldn't mind giving up a few.
Yeah, I could lose a couple more pounds of that too.
I'm trying. I am trying my to lose weight. I just can't. I just keep finding weight on my arms. But that's a different problem I have.
Dude, hang on the other side, because look, we're going into the last segment, and we're not going to end the show on a crappy note. So you need to be around to have fun with us on the next segment.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
are we going to talk some gas?
Possibly. Don't let the cat out of the bag, guys. Do not go anywhere. You're listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at Lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
Hey, Bugsy, you hear the news about Vinny?
Yeah, it's a real shame he owed money to the IRS and they finally caught up with him.
Just like Al Capone.
If the IRS can get to Capone, imagine what they can do to little old Vinny, huh?
Poor cat, he was on top of the world, and bada boom, bada bing.
What Vinny needs now is an offer he can't refuse.
Hey, you got a tax problem? Does the IRS claim you owe them a bunch of dough? They can get you too. So call the tax relief line now and learn if you qualify to negotiate your $10,000 plus IRS tax debt for up to a 75% savings. Don't be like Al or Vinny and get busted. Make this free call now. Learn how you may be able to pay the IRS less.
Call now. 866-657-8517. 866-657-8517. That's 866-657-8517.
And welcome back. You're listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism. We are live on Facebook at DOAE Show, Twitter at DOAE Show.
Go to patreon.com/DOAE
Show.
I think there's a pattern.
I think there is a pattern here. We are also joined by our good buddy, dear friend, Jonathon Dunne from Freedom's Disciple on The Blaze.
Yes.
John, do me a favor real fast, in case anybody who is listening just for some reason has never heard of you before or is not following you before. How do they reach out to you? What's your social media? And go.
You don't want to reach out to me, but if you feel the need to, if you feel the need to hate on a Yankee, Freedom Disciple on Twitter, Jonathon Dunne 58 on Facebook, and freedomsdisciple.com. I'm not hard to find. Or theblaze.com/radio. You see my beautiful, wonderful picture. Spoiler alert, in case you're seeing the picture of me on the boys have put up, I now don't have hair. So
you're welcome.
Oh, yeah. You need to update your pictures a little bit.
You do. I
have plenty of pictures on my Facebook profile. If you could have chosen anyone, you had to go look for that one.
I went to your Facebook and I went to your profile pictures, and
I should have.
It was you in the gym or this one.
That one would have been funny.
Yeah, you should have put one of me in the gym.
Or you know what? though? I've got a couple of them from CPAC that I should have probably.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
He hasn't sent them to me, so
I didn't even think about it. It was. Anyway. So
let me ask you a question.
Okay. Ask me away.
I'm going to ask you a question here.
Ask me a question.
Okay. Me or Dylan? Me or Lyle?
Everybody.
Okay.
You all get this question.
Okay.
Did you know that Uranus smells?
I've been told.
No, really.
Yeah, no, really. I've been told. Especially after, Taco Bell.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
John?
No. No. So sorry, that's actually not true. Because the way you said that question was kind of loaded. It was like, your anus smells like it was implying it was a bad statement. I have to say, anyone who's ever smelled my anus has always said it smells like flowers.
Wait a minute.
Good night, everybody.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh, sorry, Uranus. I'm sorry.
No, but that's who. Wait a second. Hold on. Who do you have sniffing Uranus?
I don't know, but we do have NASA.
Oh no,
we have NASA
sniffing Uranus.
NASA is sniffing Uranus. Believe it or not. Apparently, NASA has done some research. And they've, in their research and viewing the planet Uranus. Uranus? How do you want to do this?
No, just keep rolling.
Okay.
Well,
keep rolling.
You see, the thing is, you have to, just for clarification, it's good that NASA is an American organization because, you'll call Uranus about 10,000 different things because, you Americans are so funny because every time I hear Americans talking about Qatar, it's like something else. It's Qatar, it's guitar, it's Qatar.
Yeah, I still, to this day, I don't know what it is either.
Quarter. Quiet.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Maybe it's Uranus, ain't your Uranus? Who knows?
It's Uranus.
Uranus.
We're sticking with that anyway. So apparently Uranus is surrounded by a hydrogen sulfide gas, which is kind of colorless, extremely flammable apparently, but also extremely hazardous. And it smells like rotten eggs.
Isn't that a little bit of irony there? That the gas around Uranus smells like rotten eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Suffocation and exposures at negative 200 degrees Celsius, which is negative 392 degrees Fahrenheit. Atmosphere is most likely hydrogen, helium, methane. Blah 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 blah.
So did you know that Uranus could suffocate you with its gas?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh, good Lord, have mercy.
Just saying. Oh,
it's the little things.
Yeah, we have to get past and talk about these things just to make sure. But
see, look, it was either we continue to talk about Alfie and continue to be upset, or we can just break the ice and just kind of end on a happy note. And this is the route we're going. So,
we're going to keep
this is the route you're going to go.
Yes, this is the route we're going to go.
Look, they've stuck it. Look, the audience has stuck it out this far. They can stick it out for another 3 minutes.
No, Brad. See, I said, or was it Erica? Erica, no, it wasn't that it's on fire. Uranus has very flammable gas. There's very big difference.
It hasn't had Taco Bell yet.
Not yet. It's not on
Not
fire.
yet. So but just wordplay is always fun.
Oh, it is.
Wordplay
It
makes
is.
me
It
giggle.
is.
So
is it the kind of fire that comes from when you eat the $99 buffet that's like 3 days old, or is it a different kind of fire?
That doesn't say. They haven't done that deeper research
It's a fire
yet.
that doesn't burn. It's a
fire that
does
doesn't
not burn.
but yet burns like the
okay.
flame of 1,000 suns.
So John, I know you, like all of us, really want to live as long as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not in the healthcare system that is the British, but you do indeed. Yes.
Absolutely.
Well,
I want to live as long as possible.
And what
We've got a list.
we do.
We have a list of things that you can do
Okay.
that will
Good.
help you live longer.
Yes. And you're going to love this
Okay.
list.
Every guy should love this.
Every
This is-
guy especially, but I mean I guess this applies, and this is 2018, far be it from us to judge
Wow, Wendy.
who's
Wow. Wow. I'm sorry. I can't even continue on with that one. I'm just gonna let that go.
That's for Wendy. And I'm not even reading it. That's
Good
just
job,
Wendy knows.
Good job. You know. You
Okay.
did that.
Okay.
So,
Oh, good Lord.
let's continue on while we have a few minutes.
Yeah, we got like 2 minutes. Go.
All right. So, step
Tell me how to live
one.
longer.
Step 1 to keep you living longer. Men,
Okay.
stare at boobs. Mm-hmm. Now, apparently, they've been doing a
So
study.
hold on. Who, where did this come from?
This
Well,
is
I'm
from
about
the
to
Daily
tell you.
Wire.
This is about to tell
this
you.
is from
Oh,
the Daily Wire. Listen. Published in the Archives of Internal Medicine.
Yes. Staring at boobs creates a positive mindset in men.
Right. It's also a healthy choice.
Are we ready?
It can also decrease high blood pressure, which could also help you get away from coronary heart disease. All right. So there you go. That's step 1. Step 2.
Okay. Have sex.
A lot of it.
Lots of it.
Lots of it.
Quoted a study from the BMJ. Finding sex could cut men's mortality rate in half.
By the way, he did not say BJ. He said BMJ.
MJ.
That's
There
a
was an
medical
M there.
journal. That's a medical
Yes.
journal.
Yes.
Just so you know. Also, 3,
Are you ready for this?
get married. Want to know why? Because it gives you a better chance of seeing 1 and 2.
Hey-oh.
Just so you know. Also, people that are married after the age of 25 usually live longer. Anyway, so number 4,
Have children.
which sort of decreases the chances of 1 and 2, but also if you can wedge
But at the same
time through,
but at the same time, they technically are a direct result of 1 and 2.
they are a direct result. But they kind of take away from it.
Okay, so
after
can
a
we
while.
just do a checklist? So 1, I'm not going to answer. 2, no. 3, what was the third one? Get married.
Get
Get married.
And in
When you
4
look
have
like
kids.
me, that ain't happening. So I'm.
Have
This is all a
kids.
recipe for a short
So
life
you're ready to
lifestyle.
drop
4
dead.
kids,
So
have
here you
kids,
go. We gotta get it here. So number 5, be responsible.
You can
Well,
do
I
that.
preach responsibility, so okay, I can get
Okay.
that.
And
Number
get
6,
a dad bod.
Get a dad bod. Have a little bit of a
Little
little bit of
pudge.
extra weight. It's okay because what that does is that it means that you're probably less likely to suffer a heart attack or prostate cancer.
Hey, and we were instructed to ask you. Jonathan, do you like freedom? I do.
I love me some freedom.
Do you like me?
And I don't
you-
get to see it
you like-
very
do you
often
like money?
anywhere.
Do you like money? I do
Sure.
too. Do you like freedom and money? Then this is Ricky from Banyan
I have
Hill.
a funny feeling I know where this is going.
Thank you, John, for hanging out with us, brother. We really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely,
Guys-
and if I can just ask your audience, this battle for Alfie isn't over. This kid is living. He's approaching his 54th hour alive without
10
life
seconds.
support, without oxygen. He's living on his own. Please keep him in your thoughts and your prayers. Thoughts and prayers actually do mean something. Please keep sharing this, and people need to know about this story. People need to learn about this story. This will come to America if you don't do it, and we need to keep helping him. As long as Alfie is living, we are fighting.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.